a face that's been around for a little while but was facelifted and upgraded during last year. It's the Peugeot 308, France's answer to the C-segment hatchback, and they've gone up market with this one, and in particular this is the GT line, which of course gives you the 1.2 litre 3-cylinder engine, turboed, puts out 96 kilowatts and 230 newton meters of torque from this little 1.2 litre engine. Nice lines, good space in a car like this, at very, very competitive C-segment size, and you come around to a boot size as well, which is pretty much a family-sized boot for a C-segment, being 370 litres of space in the boot as well, and of course very neatly placed underneath. You have your full-size spare wheel with your toolkit down there as well, and then just lift up here, pull on the handle, and as I said, the GT line, which tells you it's the PureTech Turbo. So very, very neat lines, very smart looking car. Let's take a look on the inside. Inside the Peugeot 308 GT line, being French, it's typically got those little different quirks and touches. You can see you've got a nice squat steering wheel, which is placed somewhat lower than usual, with your instrumentation and your main dashboard higher than usual. So it's a slightly different driving position to what one could be used to. Very simplistic instrumentation as well. Obviously you have your rev counter, your fuel, and in the center the computer screen, which basically gives speed, distance traveled, and also your trip meter over there, and a gear change indicator which does come up as well. So that's very simplistic over there. Even on the steering wheel, quite simple controls and multifunction steering wheel to operate various functions on the car as well. You go down, being the GT line, you'll see the sportier touch of the metal look, aluminium look pedals over here, and items like on the steering wheel and even on the door trims, the bits of red stitching, which are very different and do look nice. If we come to the center console, this is where I find some pros and cons on this car. Very nice large touch screen, which I think is a very useful feature. And something that I think is amazing is on this car, if you take a look at this, I've done 591 kilometers in the car at 6 liters per 100 kilometers. That is an average of a week's driving, which I think is quite exceptional. You of course just touch on here and you can go to your music, your infotainment, your telephone over there, etc. What I do find a little bit odd on a car in this price point, which we'll come to shortly, is no navigation. It's obviously up to you and a choice you can make, but I just felt possibly navigation would have been a nice feature. You'll notice as you come down on the center console, extremely clean, very neat, nice touches, very few buttons compared to most cars, and I think it's got a very, very classy look and feel to it. Your USB over here, again I'm being very picky, but in a corner over here that is pretty difficult to get your USB in and out, and a larger USB doesn't even fit in there, which is just one of those strange little features that I think happens on occasion. Your gear shift, nice gear lever, gear knob to hold, 6-speed manual gearbox. Again, and I'm being very picky on this one, it's a very long shift. Being a 96 kilowatt GT line car, I just feel the shifts are very precise but very slow and deliberate, and possibly take away a tiny bit from that real fun factor if you're trying to push on a little bit. Below the gear lever you do have your electronic parking brake, which is something that I am slowly but surely getting used to, although I can't say seriously it is a feature that I like, but it does take time. What this does have that I really do like is it does have the heel hold assist, in other words the pull-off assist on a hill, which have been really nice when I did my driving test a number of years ago, prevents you from rolling backwards when you're on a hill. Let's take a look in the back seat of the car. Moving into the back of the 308 and the GT line in particular, headroom more than adequate. I'm okay with my hat on. Legroom is fairly good. No complaints over there. It is a little bit dark perhaps, but that's with the black roof lining, the black trim, but it's really no issue. What is an interesting feature on the car is you'll see the leather in the center over here, but the suede inserts on all the seats. Very grippy, gives you that feeling that if this is a performance car, these seats, and you want to drive it like a performance car, these seats will really hold you in place and give you that much sportier feel to it, and that you can push on in this car if you're in the mood for it. So overall, we're talking the 308 GT line. Price, list price 357,000 Rand for this car. You get a lot of car for your money, there is no doubt about it. It's definitely got that premium feel and that premium touch to it, which Peugeot are definitely pushing for to match and to reach the top contenders in the C segment hatchbacks that have that premium as opposed to the more average sector, can I call it. So that is something one needs to look at. 357, as I said, I would like to have seen navigation on the car as a standard for that money, and little items like that, but they are small. Driving it, really enjoyable to drive. That 96 kilowatt engine is more than adequate, gives excellent performance when you want to use it. Maybe you won't get the economy I got if you use that performance all the time, but that is entirely up to you. For a buyer looking for a C segment family hatchback, this really needs to be on your shortlist, and obviously I think price is going to be a driving factor.